3, go! Here we are. Take out the glasses because today we're gonna have the episode number 7 for the season 1. We are retaking this because we had several problems, and today we're gonna rock and roll. So it's me, Elio from Mondosol, and this is the Empower Hospitality. We're gonna empower you that are listening now live, as well as with the recorded video on YouTube, on the Mondosol channel, and on Facebook, on the Mondosol page and my personal profile, as well as Periscope on Twitter, and maybe on LinkedIn, depending on Bill Gates. So today I'm very, very happy to have not just one, but 2 guests. Is the same company, is one of the most important revenue management company out there. Mondosol has been partnering with this company now for a while. We are very, very happy to have on board Vu. Hi, Vu.
Hey, Elio. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Yes, very happy to have you here together with your colleague, Dan.
Hello, Elio. How are you? Thank you for having us. Yeah, absolutely, and thank you, Elio. So I can share my screen with you. We've got a couple of just quick slides that I definitely wanted to show, or if you want, I can wait to do that and just do a bridged introduction if that's easier. But I'm an account executive with Wheelhouse, and Vu is our head of customer success. So we are talking to customers and potential customers all the time about dynamic pricing for their short-term rentals and how to obviously, increase bookings and maximize the revenue to realize the most possible on those investments. So that's what we do.
Sure. So my name is Vu Huynh. I've been with Wheelhouse for about 2 years almost now. And so, like Dan had mentioned, I am head of customer success. I head up our team of customer success and support agents, helping with any customer at any given time. Dan will talk about it briefly in a little bit, but he'll mention that we have 24/7 support, and that's my team helping out all of our users at any given time of the day.
And I was just testing out. Everything works well. We have people on Facebook. We have people coming in and out all the time. Some people don't even speak English. Some people don't understand anything. So we need to be very basic, and sometimes we need to slow down a little bit just to have everyone on board. It's about the money today. And I was listening to this song. I really like Jessie P. She's talking that it's not all about the money, but today we're going to talk about the money. Is it all about the money, actually, this revenue management, or there are other factors?
Yeah. I mean, there's, maximizing, the dollar figures that you're getting for your properties is definitely a huge part of the revenue management. And on the dynamic pricing side, we also take a look at occupancy and give you a number of different ways that you can control how to maximize the number of bookings as well. So, but yeah, that definitely all ties in with the final revenue.
I'll chime in only if, Elio, you tell us what your DJ name was previously.
My DJ name? Well, the DJ name was Varius. I think it was Varius. It's a Latin name, Okay. So, do you know what it means, Varius?
I do.
Okay, so Varius, it means basically something that it's variegate. It's not the same. It's not the same thing over and over. That's Varius.
Cool.
Yeah. So, as a matter of fact, we can start the presentation. The people that are listening now in the audience, this is the Empower Show. And we're going to do this now for about an hour or so. We will see where we will go. We started a bit late. We had some jet lag or time zone or computer crash, whatever it was. But we're going to do this to close the season 1. The episode about revenue. Revenue is, I hear all the time, many property owner, when it boils down to, okay, let's start and rock and roll, they say, okay, what's in it for me? How much money can you bring to the table? So you come in handy as a very important component, because now we're going to discuss about how it's possible to maximize revenue for a property, right?
Yep.
Yeah, good. So Dan, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do the presentation then.
Okay. And you can see my screen, it looks like.
Yes.
So great. Thank you so much, Elio, for having us and for the introduction. So again, we're from Wheelhouse, dynamic pricing tool, and we'll talk about it and obviously show you a little bit of the platform as well. So idea here is to earn more from.
Okay.
So real quick on the agenda, we're just going to talk about what is Wheelhouse, who is the pricing tool for, tell you a little bit about our team and how it works, talk through some key differentiators, what customers are saying about us, what it costs, and a little bit more info. And then we'll
Very
do some
good.
Q&A, of course. Sure, people will have some questions. So Vu is going to be taking, I'm going to be actually taking you through. Vu is here to oversee and to handle any questions, but I am also here. Again, my name is Dan. So we are here from Wheelhouse, and a little bit more about our. So we are a team of founders and product engineers from top Bay Area companies and also from the real estate and short-term rental industry. We've also got former hotel revenue managers on the team. So definitely a lot of industry expertise, as well as working at various tech companies in the Bay Area. A lot of strong talent at our organization. And finally, we also have several PhD data scientists on staff as well. So, really taking that data-driven approach with the product and with the company that you will not see in any other competing, product or.
Yes, I see Expedia. Actually, I was in the London event,
Yeah.
and there was someone from HomeAway, not Expedia, but it's the same.
For,
You, you,
that was.
you guys
Sorry.
were not in London for the host 2000.
No, we weren't. But I heard it was a great event.
It
I heard
was.
there's a lot of turnout. We're looking to be there next year. Definitely be able, or would love to have the chance or the opportunity to speak there as well. I think we were recently at Verma, which is a large conference in New Orleans and in the U.S., and that was an opportunity for us to get better outreach to our audience. So that was a chance for us to kind of just test the grounds, and then hopefully next year in London we'll be able to join you, Elio, and hopefully meet you in person as well as speak.
Yes, that's right. I'll be there this year. I was there. I need to say a big thanks to Terrapin. They've done an awesome job inviting almost 3,000 people. It was, I think on the floor, there was more than 100 exhibitors. They had, I don't remember the number of conference they did. I hope next year they will do it just not on open space, because it was difficult to hear each other. I had to scream in the conference and in the people in the stand as well. But I think they got the feedback, and it was a great opportunity to meet awesome people. I just mentioned Expedia, HomeAway, and it was also Airbnb. They were the two main sponsors together with. And yes, I can't wait to meet you guys. I was hoping to see you in Italy in October. I actually met another American person, Nathan. He's a property manager in Las Vegas, and possibly one of our future investors. So I really would like to see you guys soon. Maybe you come in Italy, or we'll see each other in London. That's
Oh, of
that's
course.
that's very good. Okay,
That'd be great.
so now, Vu, what do you say? We continue with Dan? Dan?
I'm ready. Was I going too
Yeah.
fast? I could slow it.
Yes. Let's take it slowly. Sometime I'm gonna ask you some question. Then, if Vu wants to jump in, we're gonna make it interactive, and then let's see if someone in the audience also wants to ask questions. Do you prefer to have questions in?
I'm fine with being interrupted. We can take questions as we go. That's no problem at all.
Okay, cool. So,
So
you
what
go.
is Wheelhouse? Wheelhouse is a platform for dynamic pricing to where, again, like we were saying, essentially we want to help you earn more money and not have to manage the fluctuations or the changes in pricing for your short-term rentals every night. So we're analyzing billions of data points, and we're taking that and considering your property and how it kind of fits in with market data. And again, we'll show you kind of what that looks like But essentially, the idea here is earn more, work less. So dynamic pricing, if you're not, for anyone who's not familiar with the concept of what we do, here's a little graph of 1 year of short-term rentals in San Francisco. So you can see the purple line, which is most of the short-term rentals that were out there on the various channels in the marketplace. There are some minor changes in the pricing. So you can see those upticks are mostly just on the weekends with a little bit of around the holidays as well, people changing their price a little bit. But what you can kind of see with Wheelhouse, when we're taking all of the market information and making those adjustments for you, we're still able to get bookings, and you can kind of see the gap between most short-term rentals and what Wheelhouse can help you price. There's a lot of money being left throughout the, and there's even some instances where it might be better to price a little bit lower due to some seasonality, which we'll get into, to increase your actual bookings rather than going for the higher revenue points. So we help you automate. So the way that is that we start by looking at your property and the particular aspects or amenities and general kind of characteristics of your property, so that we can get all of the most accurate market data, basically. So we're looking at
how do you look at the property? Is it a robot or is it a?
So it is the system that's taking a look at the property. So we have, again, with our data scientists on staff, we've built a pretty strong kind of algorithm to take a look at what attributes are making up the property. So once you tie in with your channel manager or your PMS, we're able to get that information, compare, how many bedrooms and bathrooms, what amenities are available at the property, what type of a place is it? Is it an entire apartment, or is this just a single bedroom in a shared unit? Is it a luxury condo, right? So we're taking all that information, and then the system is looking at that.
How do you understand the style? You mentioned
one of the things we can kind of look at is, well, number of photos, right? So that's actually usually a direct correlation with number of photos of like how large and exquisite the property is. We've also got, amenities is a big thing. So a hot tub, a balcony, some properties don't have AC. So if you have AC, that's a plus, right? So we're looking at this special things about each property. We can get, it's not going to be to a T like super accurate as far as the luxury or quality of a place, because that's just very difficult to determine through text and photos. But as many amenities as we can look at to get a sense for the quality of your place, we'll use that to compare it to others in your market that are.
I would say, to take a quick step back. You are brand new to vacation rentals. You have a 1-bedroom condo in a city that you're very familiar with, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you do to price it? How would you figure out how to price? Well, first thing you would do is go on Airbnb, look up other properties in the similar, right? Look at their pricing on every single day, try to figure out if they have different pricings for. Then you'll try to find a service out there that may have market. So you're doing a lot of manual work. You're going on Airbnb. You're looking up manually different listings in your area. You're going to try your provider that will give you some reporting. All that takes a lot of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, with Wheelhouse, it really takes all of that manual work and make it right. So that robot part that you're talking about, where we are taking every single data point in every single market, including your listing, whatever your property is. We understand all the amenities for every single property. We know how much the pricing is for every single property. We know when the property gets a booking or when it gets unbooked or cancellation and things like that, right? So we are literally tracking every single kind of movement, every single kind of data point that goes into every single property for a particular, for any person in.
Okay.
So again, it's really taking that hours and hours and days of figuring out what should be and makes it and automates. So sometimes you could think of it as a tool does all the thinking for you, right?
Yes.
Where you can then just put in a little bit of your own personal touch, making sure that it makes sense for yourself, and so forth. So I think that's what Dan was trying to describe. Sorry, Dan, didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No,
go
it's
ahead
good.
and continue there.
Thank you. No, that's great.
Okay. No, very, very good point, Vu. Just because I was thinking of an example, we might discuss this privately later about London, but you took another example. I didn't understand if you said Miami or something else. But anyway, it's a good point. So you have all this database, all this information. You are keep studying, keep learning about the market. Very good point. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, then. All
So
yours.
on that note about all the market information and all these millions and millions of data points that we get from around the world every night, we're able to make informed decisions and help you kind of automate some of the pricing when we take a look at things like seasonality or temporality. And what that kind of means is like how when you include the time factor into a booking, like how far away is a potential stay date, and making fluctuations there. So we have all of this great market information. We're also looking at local events, which I'll get a little bit more into later as well. But anything that you could possibly think of, that might impact a booking in a particular city on a particular night of the week, we're considering that, and we're including it with our model for pricing your properties.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. So some of the key things that you'll find with Wheelhouse that we don't think you'll see anywhere else is an increase in your revenue. So we find on average, our users are increasing their revenue by between 20 to 40% based on, of course, a number of factors about their particular portfolio, but you should definitely see an uptick in overall bookings and in your bottom line as well. So we've got a tried and true, recommendations engine for pricing. We've been around for 5 years and fine tuning this every week. So you'll also get a personal strategy, right? So we give you the control to make or refuse to make changes as you see fit as they pertain to your properties. So you get really a unique pricing strategy that's custom tailored for your business in the short-term rental space. And thanks to Vu and Vu's team, we've got 24/7 customer support. So we understand that our customers are around the world and they very often have important and imminent questions that need to be answered. So we are always here to support you. And that's the team that Vu oversees, worldwide. So 24/7 support. And those are our main differentiators. But of course, happy to continue that conversation if anyone's interested a little bit more of what makes us different too. So
yeah, what makes you different? I remember who was talking about the fact that Airbnb partner with your company and they actually put some money in. It's the only revenue management system they have approved, and then versus smart pricing of Airbnb. So why don't we talk about this? You, Vu.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and thanks for bringing it up too, Elio. I mean, trying to be humble, but it is something we do like to brag about is the fact that Airbnb, conducted a huge kind of research project of what are the best tools and vendors out there in the marketplace. And they found that Wheelhouse was, worthy of, being part of a company that's definitely worthy of a huge seed round. So they invested in us earlier this year, and we're very proud of that validation in the marketplace from Airbnb. Obviously, they're one of the biggest, vendors in the space, and so that means a lot. I think definitely sets us apart. And the other thing is, and kind of like we're alluding to, with some of the data, the market data, and some of the key features and differentiators is that, this is a tool that's great for portfolio managers to have a holistic view of their properties and the performance of them to manage kind of just at your fingertips, right? With just a few easy control buttons. You mentioned smart pricing from Airbnb. And I think that's generally a little bit more catered to just maybe the single property or the spare bedroom. But even, just to have that investment and the validation from Airbnb themselves, I think speaks volumes to the power of Wheelhouse, even over their own in-house tool. Anything to add, Vu?
Vu, what is the main
No, I
difference between smart pricing and revenue management tool? Let's say Wheelhouse, but there are also others out there.
Yeah, of course, there's definitely competitors out there. But I think the biggest difference between Wheelhouse and Airbnb smart pricing is that realistically, at the end of the day, your goal as a short-term rental host is to earn more money, right? Earn as much money as you can. Whereas, unfortunately, Airbnb's position right now is to obtain as many customers or guests as possible, right? Elio, if you were to go on Airbnb right now, look up any city, you'll find hundreds and hundreds of properties in any city, right? Supply is always available, right? There's always tons of supply around. So right now, with Airbnb smart pricing, the what they're doing is unfortunately lowering down your rentals rates so that they can attract more customers. And unfortunately, that's driving down the market. And so hopefully, by using a dynamic pricing tool like Wheelhouse, it can help you bring up your daily rates and help you earn more money by looking at the true data within your market or within your neighborhood as well. So again, to just quickly compare the difference between Airbnb and a dynamic pricing tool like Wheelhouse, it has the interest of you, right, Elio?
Yes.
Whereas Airbnb smart pricing may not necessarily align with your expectations and more align with attracting more guest reservations.
Yes. Let's just, I'm keep thinking of one example in particular I have in mind. I'm not gonna mention. It's it's a new property Mondosol just started to work on in London. We actually coming back in London in the 1819 because I mentioned to you before in the event we met this property owner from Malaysia, and we're gonna meet them again. So with this property in mind, I'm thinking, okay, now the big question is how can I make more money and how can I select from good and bad guests? So, as a property owner, specifically, let's talk about this typical Airbnbers, people who have a home, they open up their homes and they have stranger coming in their house. So they have the problem now that they need to share their private home or part of it with stranger, and on top stranger need to share between each other. If it's like a 3 bedrooms house, then you will have 2, 4, 6 guests sharing the kitchen, the living room, the bathrooms. So the owner now has 2 questions: how can I prevent to have bad guests or disattend their expectation, but how can I also maximize the revenue and the occupancy? Okay, tougher question. Who wants to take it? Vu, you want to take it?
Yeah, I can start off. I think the biggest thing here is when trying to attract good guests, quote unquote good guests. I think the biggest thing you have to look at is one of the easiest things that you can do is to have a longer minimum night stay. Right? Typically, if someone wants to stay for just one night, most times it's okay. But every once in a while, you'll get someone that comes once and that wants to only book one night to have a party, right? And that could potentially have a huge impact on your property, right? They could damage it. They could make really loud, noise, interrupt or disturb your neighbors. So, in any case, increasing your minimum night stay can definitely help deter potentially unwanted guests, right? Another thing that you have to consider also is not to necessarily have instant booking on, right? Because if you're allowing instant booking, then that means you're allowing anyone to book your place. Whereas if you were to uncheck instant booking, you have the opportunity to then review that potential guest's profile, right? You get to see all the reviews for that guest. If they don't have any reviews, you can reject them, right? So there are definitely certain tactics that you can do to help deter potentially bad guests.
But in instant booking, you can select to have guests with good reviews.
Yeah, sure. You can do that as well. So there's quite a bit of options, right, Elio? You mentioned with your large portfolio, you've been doing this for almost a decade now, right? And so you understand that there's a lot of different ways to handle bad guests. But essentially, you want to make sure that you have the chance to review people's profiles, right? The guest profiles. On top of that, you also want to make sure that you're not necessarily allowing one night stays to hopefully get rid of those party people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to add there, Elio or Dan?
No, I was thinking about this instant booking because Airbnb obviously is pushing very hard on that. I was watching the slides of Jasper River from Get Paid for Your Pet, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
you want to maximize your views on Airbnb by also allowing instant booking. So I also heard once Logify, our PMS, organize a webinar about the power of instant booking. So you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned before to avoid bad guests to remove the instant booking, but once you do that, you might be able to select even the minimum stay. No, you might be able to select, but then it doesn't compromise the revenue, the occupancy, because then you will have less people, then you will have less nights, less
Not
views.
necessarily,
Not necessarily.
because not necessarily because if your listing is a high performing property, people will want to stay there, right? If you're providing your guests with a great experience, all the amenities, really clean sheets, high end, furniture, offerings and things of that nature, providing a great experience for the guests, people will see that in the reviews and they'll want to book it. I think what some people get scared at is that if they don't have instant booking on, then they feel that they might get rejected by the host. But that's not necessarily the case. I think it's a kind of like a understanding that hosts have the right to reject bookings as well. But a guest should not worry to get rejected unless they've done something bad in the past, right?
Yes, that's
So
right.
so I think sure, it might in the beginning it might sound like you might have less revenue or less occupancy, but that's only because if your listing is not performing well to begin with, then it might continue not performing well again. So what I'm getting at is making sure that not just your pricing is right, but also everything else. Everything else is clean. The check-in process is really simple. So the whole entire, um, you know, uh, all the other activities that you need to do to provide a great guest experience is required, and not just pricing or minimum nights, right?
Yes. Not just pricing and minimum nights. Yes, I agree
It's not
with you.
necessarily just having. It's not necessarily just having a bed, some towels, and that's it, right? You got to do more than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure you talked about it in your other episodes about how to provide a great guest experience, right?
Yes.
Um, so you have to take all that into consideration. You can't just say, you know what, I think, a one bedroom in my neighborhood, on average is maybe, €100 as an example. You can't just say mine is €100 as well because your listing is very unique. Your property is very unique. So you have to take in consideration what you are offering. And then from there, you can worry about, how to handle those kind of guests. But I think until you build up your property, until you fully, furnish it and have operations and a system in place to really, to attract these customers, then you could be more selective and not worry about these people that are potentially.
I see that. Yeah, that's a very good point. I see a lot of people coming in this webinar. They are listening. I need to say thanks to Electra, ciao Rosanna, Antonella, Christian, Anna Maria. There are a lot of people coming in, coming out, and also this will be staying in Facebook and YouTube on Mondosol channel, Mondosol page, on my personal profile, and we'll make sure also to send links on our list of emails, and then on our contacts on LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Facebook. We'll make sure that everyone that needs this information can get it easily. And we are doing this basically to educate the whole industry, to create an impact. Because you mentioned before a decade. Now, with hospitality, both me and the co-founder, Lynn, we were just talking about, I think we go back then because she studied travel management tourism, international travel management tourism, for her university studies. She graduated in UK. She studied also in Sydney in Australia and in Oslo in Norway. And then we met in UK because I was working for a tour operator, global travel. It was actually number 3 after Thomas Cook, that now just bankrupt, and number 2, I don't remember who was it, Thompson. And she has been working for TUI, which is the number 1 tour operator in Europe. So we are going back 2002, 2003, 2004, and then our experience went a little bit more into education. We were teaching more. We were doing one-to-one, and we decided then in 2013 we did a beta test. In 2014 we decided to start this on a scale, and everything you just said, it makes a lot of sense, because I've been looking at a lot of properties, a lot of property owners from many different markets. Money. I was talking to you, the song is not about the money, Jesse P. It is about the money because money is important. I would say reputation is very important, because you said not necessarily people don't want to take a chance on you if you don't have any reviews. But I did have several times people who were looking at the property, they message me and they wonder why you have no reviews on that listing. And then I just said it's a new listing. But then if you are afraid that you will not have a great experience, I encourage you to go and check it up our profile with the reviews we got for other property. So that we are here to stay and we will take great care. So that really helped the guests to make a decision, an informed decision, that they were not going to have a scam, a spam. I just read Airbnb now is going to conduct a huge analysis of their 7 million listings, because they find out, I think it was for Halloween, someone went in New York in a listing that was under the stairs. They slept in a hair mattress. It was disgusting. She took a picture. It was crazy. So yes, money is important together with reputation. I wouldn't, for example, we do have properties as well that they perform good and then they start to strike on reviews, and it might be the guest's fault, it might be the host's fault. I can't say it. It's always difficult. But at the same time, when you have bad reviews coming in, even if you reply, even if things can happen, whatever, then other people, they start to be skeptical because they really trust those reviews, and they know Airbnb as well. Everything is built on trust. What do you say, Vu, and Dan? Let's take first Vu and then Dan.
No, I completely agree. I think everything is based on trust. After trust, then money follows, right? It's just like any other industry, any other business that you do, right? When you're trying to build your empire, you have to build trust. You're building a following, right? And so once you build up a reputation, then you can kind of loosen it up and do what's right for yourself, and really tailor to your expectations. But until then, you have to build the trust, and you have to basically show that you are a trustworthy person, right? In this industry. This industry is, while there's a lot of, hundreds of thousands of properties around the world, or millions, it's a very small industry, right? And so when you get a bad review, or when when people talk about your property, it gets around, right?
Yes.
Whenever Elio, or if you stay at a certain place and you loved it, you would probably tell your friends and colleagues, right?
Yes.
You say, I stayed at this Airbnb recently, and it was phenomenal, great. Or if like when you went to London a couple weeks ago for host, you mentioned to me, hey, I stayed at this Airbnb. It wasn't the greatest, right? You're telling
Yeah.
me your experience.
Let's not share personal information. I mean, I mean, listen, the guy was a good guy in the end. I'm just saying it wasn't his job. His job was to work. I don't remember. He was working in the food industry. Let's just say generally,
Right. And
and
so
and
and so what I'm saying, yeah, I don't want to talk too much about personal, but what I'm saying is that people share their experiences. And so but you have to build a reputation first and making sure that you do right by all of your guests. And so before you can start really, charging whatever you want, or be how restrictive on who to have at your property, you really have to, basically build your name.
yes, yes. Um, what about this 20% promotion that Airbnb is doing when you start a new listing? How critical is that promotion? I mean, is that something you would recommend to do? This 20% promotion for new listings for the first three reservation?
I think it really depends. There's a few different reasons why you should or shouldn't do it. If you're brand new to short-term rentals, if you've never done short-term rentals before, and you're in a very highly competitive area, sure, why not, right? 20% for the first three bookings, that's not very much if you're in this for the long haul, right? If you're going to be doing this for many years, 20% for the first three bookings does not mean very much, right? But if you're in an area where there's not a lot of properties, there's a lot of demand, but their supply is still quite low, you might not necessarily you might not necessarily want to do the 20% off, because if there's a lot of demand already, people will still book it at a higher rate. So it really just depends on the situation that you're currently in. If you're noticing that there's a lot of properties that are underpriced in your area, then you may want to take on that 20% so that you can build up your reputation. But if you're in an area where, again, there's not a lot of supply, a lot of demand, um, I wouldn't suggest taking that 20%.
Okay, okay. Yes, great point. And Dan, do you want to add something into it?
Well, we were talking about reviews and reputation a minute ago, and it's hard to disagree. Obviously, I think trust is king, and if you think about booking from the vacationer's standpoint, like, would you book this place if you after reading the reviews, right? Like, that's how it's important to kind of put yourself in other people's shoes. So I just wanted to add that bit in. But since we were talking about reviews, I do want to wrap up our deck, Elio. If you have a quick moment before the top of the hour, I just wanted to mention some reviews on Wheelhouse, just to bring it back, and then I'll wrap that up, and we can be done with the deck if that's all right.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, the questions they're coming in and out while you guys are talking. If
Yeah,
you want, you can continue. I mean,
thank you. Yeah,
so
let's just share the deck real quick. I wanted to talk about
yes,
reviews, since that, I mean, reviews in a different capacity, but I wanted to finish a remark about the Wheelhouse reputation, and we definitely encourage people to look us up on capterra.com, or on even on Facebook. We encourage you guys to go and join Facebook groups where people are talking about Airbnb experiences as hosts and owners or managers of short-term rental properties, and ask, what do you think about Wheelhouse? Because what we find is that people will come out of the woodwork and say, oh, I love Wheelhouse, and it's a huge part of the reason that my business has been successful is the dynamic pricing that we get from Wheelhouse. So just wanted to show off one of the quotes from our customers, and then also, you mentioned coupons. Wheelhouse is also doing we do a free 30-day trial for any new users, and for anyone on the call today, we have a promo code for you. So when you're signing up, just punch in TMM, and we'll give you a few extra booking fees on top. So it's $40 in free credit, and you have some info on the pricing that we do for Wheelhouse as well. So just wanted to call that stuff out before we get to the top of the hour here. So thank you, Elio. Again, TMM is that promo code. And then, anyone that has questions or wants to see a little bit more of Wheelhouse, we are here to help. You can contact hello@usewheelhouse.com. We'll also, Elio, why don't we give you Vu and I will give you our contact info. So anyone that wants to see more of like an actual demonstration of the platform and learn a little bit more about the system, we can set up some time with anyone that's interested or get on the phone, however they want to proceed. But again, we've got the free trial. Love for people to just take advantage of that, or if they want to learn more, just reach out to us.
That's a great point. Yes, you can just specify. So I see an email there. And how is the normal procedure? Do they need to call, send an email? Do they need to go in the website, put a code? How will that work? My experience was a little bit different. I can touch on that if you want. Please specify for the audience listening. How are they going to reach you?
Yeah, absolutely. So the best thing to do is just get over to usewheelhouse.com. I would say, for folks that feel comfortable and interested to just jump right in, connect some listings and try it out, you can do that. And again, here's that promo code. So you can actually just sign up. You don't need to talk to anybody. You can just sign up right away. Otherwise, if you have questions and you want to talk on the phone, I'll make myself available. You can also, again, reach out via email. So we're very, open to contact. A lot of software companies out there will just say, "Oh, don't contact us." But we definitely want to talk to customers, see what questions they have and any apprehensions about signing up. Like, we're here to help with that stuff. So write us an email. We can set up a call if you'd like, or we can just take care of you over the web. And if you feel confident enough, just of course sign up right away for the trial, and you can get going on your own.
That's
plenty
awesome.
of options. Yeah.
Plenty of options. Yes. That is awesome. So with that being said, we do have 10 minutes or so because we came up late, and so we can finish up. We can wrap up. I think I will take the last 5 minutes just to tell the audience what's next. So with that being said, Vu, do you want to touch base on anything in specific? Should I make a question? You tell me, Vu.
Yeah, sure. I think if anyone's listening to this presentation, there's a lot of good content, right? There's a lot of great questions that Elio, that you mentioned. A lot of people from the audience have asked a lot of good questions. Dan giving a presentation. I think just the biggest takeaway from our presentation here is that revenue management can be very, very difficult. It can be very manually, a lot of manual work, right? And so a lot of it can take a lot of hours, a lot of days, and it can be continuously, it can be done every single day. And it feels like, that could take up a lot of your time, right?
Yeah.
And especially if you're new to this industry, you still have other things to take care of, like building out your property, right? Making sure it looks really great, making sure you're taking great photos, making sure you have the operations down, the communication to your potential guests, a cleaning crew, right? There's a lot of different things you got to take care of. So at the end of the day, you don't want to worry about what should my place be priced at on any day. So instead of taking that manual work, you really do need to take some time to invest into a automation tool like Wheelhouse. Like I said, there are many competitors out there. So if Wheelhouse doesn't work for you, that's totally fine. But you should look into a tool that can help you with automating your pricing. And sure, Airbnb smart pricing is an option. It might not be the best option for you, but again, it is an option. But at the end of the day, you should be focusing on other areas of your operation other than just pricing. And so using Wheelhouse can help you save hundreds of hours per month with so that you don't have to investigate and always change your pricing every single day.
Yes, yes, sure. And I just want to add this that we have been using now Wheelhouse for a while. We are very happy. Mondosol works kind of like a cooperative. Now we put together property owners, especially small and medium. We haven't really touched on very large property owners yet. I think that will be more complex as a task, but we do come in handy, for the small medium property owner, like you said, because we help with the tech. For example, the PMS that we use, Logify or other PMS out there, and then with tools like your. So there are also property owners that they want to be more laid back. They don't want to be involved. I have property owners which are old. Actually, as a matter of fact, statistically on Airbnb, most of the property owners are 50 plus. So we do use your company. We're very proud to have you, as a strategic partner, because you do have a skill, a competence. Plus, you also guys have experience into property management, right? With your main company.
Yeah, with our main company, Lyric, we are managing just under 1,000 properties in the United States. So we're very familiar with the what you do with your operations, Elio. So we're that small medium business as well, right?
Yeah, I just look at the presentation of Sander. They were in host. So you said also you mentioned there are different pricing tools as well as this different property management company. You're right, and today it's about revenue. I do want to mention a few other companies like Be Home Pricing. I think it was one of the first we started to work with. And then there is Price Lab that they make recently, even some partnership with Logify. And there is your company that we've been using now very closely for the past few months. And we are very happy to have you here on the webinar, educate this industry, and also to have you as a part of Mondosol. You help us to help owners. That's very important. Okay, so do you wanna say something else, Vu, before I close?
No, I just I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to talk here. Elio, I think we've actually been talking for about a year now, and with our relationship, we actually, I don't know if your audience knows, but we talk almost every single week. About anything about your own properties, about any suggestions, just anything that you want to talk about to help you improve your portfolio. And I think that's the biggest thing. The biggest takeaway here is that if you have users that are watching this that need a lot of help, they can reach out to us. We have 24/7 support. We're here to help you in any capacity that we can. We are experts in revenue management, but if there are other areas that you may need help in, we can definitely help you with that. And so don't be shy. We're here to help you. I think as Elio can attest to this, I think we've built a great relationship so far, and we're looking to just further that, as days go by, right?
Yes. And Dan, do you want to say anything else?
I would just say that we appreciate your business and we appreciate you having us on today, and the validation means a lot to us. So thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna close this because, like Vu said, I need to have a private talk with Vu about the properties that Mondosol manage. And what I want to say now at the end, I always say, and it's also not just to the people listening, but also to our special guest, we do have this special treat. It was Halloween before. When we went to London, we were giving candies, and we were giving these business cards with the $10 off in our store, the shop.mondosol.com. And actually, we do have also a referral program and a referral link. So I'm gonna add to that $10 also a referral credit of $35. Why are we doing this? because Mondosol is about relationship. So what we've been doing from the beginning, I mentioned we took some family members from Norway to Italy, and we were taking great care of them. We were there with them, and also, we had to deal with property owners, with restaurants, with the travel agency, and we were also trying to help them. We were suggesting them how to improve, and that's how we have then scaled very rapidly, becoming one of the top Airbnb account in Italy. And now what I want to say is this: in the shop you will find products about travel and home, and you can get whatever you want. We will ship it for you, and then it will take some time, so allow 12 to 22 days, just because they're coming from China mostly. We also have warehouse in I think it's Latvia in Europe, and then in US. But anyway, you will find great products. We do select from top suppliers, and as well as now in the shop we are launching kind of a marketplace. We will have a voucher system. Okay, so with that being said, I really want to close this webinar. It's been, I hope, very good. Technically, I hope there will be no problem this time. It's the third take, so it was good to do this again, because also we had Dan. I was very happy to have also Dan together with Vu. It's a real pleasure to talk with them. They're very lovable people. So with that being said, stay tuned. We're gonna have special interview now that the season 1 and season 2 is finished. We might be preparing the season 3 in the future. Right now we're just doing very special edition every Tuesday. We're coming live on YouTube and Facebook, the Mondosol channel, as well as the Mondosol page, and my personal profile on Facebook, as well as Periscope, and maybe LinkedIn. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, for rewatching, for writing your comments. As you can see, all our special guests are very available for you. So take advantage. You can write your comments. We'll be happy to report those comments to them. You got a special coupon as well. So you're very lucky to listen today. You got a lot of treats. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.